Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.
Hello and welcome to Eye on South Asia. I'm Bhavna Vanan.
And I'm Sanjeev Pandya.
Every week we'll bring to you the latest news, views, and happenings with South Asians living in North America. Now let's get started with our top stories, Sanjeev.
That's right, in another edition of Eye on South Asia.
Yes. Have you heard about the close race or how it's going between President Obama and the new Republican challenger?
This is what I believe. We are about 6 months away from the election. I think election date is November 6th, right? And between now and November 6th, we're going to see so many polls where one is going to say Obama is ahead, other one is going to say Romney is catching up, and so on and so forth. So
Right.
I think 6 months is a long period of time.
Yeah, there's so much time for things to change. And right now we have some initial polls saying that Obama has a slight lead over Romney.
About 7%.
7%. And we have so much room for error as well. One thing that was interesting that was brought up is that independents are kind of rallying around Obama at this point.
Right.
And there are several issues there where they would be watching.
Well, independents are going to make a difference in this election because one is that either they are not happy with Democrats or they are not happy with Republicans and they just don't know what to do, so they call themselves independent.
Right.
And a lot of Tea Party members are also going to be deciding at the last minute
Right.
that who should they go out and vote for. And also one thing to keep in mind that presidential ratings are usually correlated with economy and whatever is happening in the nation. When people see that unemployment is going down, things are getting better for economy, they tend to support sitting president.
Exactly.
But when they are really frustrated, not happy with the things, the way they are going, then obviously they will look for a change.
Right. So it definitely depends on how the climate is come November.
Exactly.
So we'll see how that goes.
So again, I'm telling you, Bhavna, and all of you viewers, that we're going to see a lot of these polls going up and down.
Yep.
And wait till Romney picks his VP.
Yes.
That's when everything
That's
is
when
going
the
to change.
drama starts, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So, okay. Well, speaking of U.S. and going onto the foreign front, the U.S. is really stepping up its pressure on India to cut their oil imports from Iran.
Well, actually, they're not really, putting a pressure on India because India, they have also shown some kind of, retrospect from them saying that they will also not buy so much oil from Iran. They have cut down the purchase of oil from Iran. So they are actually reciprocating. And here U.S. is supporting India's action, saying that, if U.S. does not want Iran to become a nuclear giant, and India is supporting that, so U.S. is supporting India, saying that, yeah, we are with you.
Right. And at this point, the U.S. is sending a team of energy experts to India to help facilitate this and reduce the dependence on Iranian oil. And Secretary of State Hillary Clinton was interviewing with CNN in New Delhi, and she said that the energy coordinator, Ambassador Carlos Pascual, will be here in India to get his team of experts and try to figure out a solution for this. Because she was also asked, doesn't this place your friends in a difficult situation, friends being India, right? And she says that, listen, India and the U.S. have similar goals, like we're positioned in the same way in this sort of game, I guess, that they're playing, and it requires that friends are on the same side, and
Well, I think it helps both countries because India also does not want Iran to become a nuclear power giant. That would threat everybody, and the U.S. really believes that if India starts cutting down oil import from Iran, that would really send a message to Iran saying that, they would have to not consider nuclear test or anything like that.
Exactly. So this method of kind of intertwining their military agenda with the trade and exports really puts them in a tough spot.
Absolutely,
So
yes.
it's going to be very interesting to see how they, handle this whole thing.
So far, I think the start is good.
Yeah. And speaking of Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, she recently met with the West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee,
Right.
also in her trip around India. And she has been working to create a partnership with the state. And it's basically to take Bengal and further economic development and business potentials for the state.
True.
And they had several discussions, and it was a little strange because some of the issues that were kind of hot button and expected to be discussed were the Teesta water issue,
Right.
the sharing with Bangladesh, as well as the foreign direct investment with multi-brand retail, which is an issue all over the country.
Correct.
But those issues
Those were
never
not discussed,
raised.
and
Yeah.
that's a surprise. And we should remind our viewers also that last week we talked about Mamata Banerjee being part of Times top 100
Yes.
influential people. She was being
Exactly.
part of that because I think there has been a change politically a lot in the state of Bengal, and I think Hillary Clinton's visit to India, even the 3-day visit, I think it's a very important visit because we just talked about Iran and the fuel and everything else. Now Hillary Clinton is supporting Mamata Banerjee's agenda and her proposal for investment in Bengal because U.S. has not been investing a lot in the Bengal
Right.
lately.
Yeah.
So, and Hillary Clinton sees an opportunity over there.
And they're considering the areas of software, IT, manufacturing, health, and education services.
True. Very
So
true.
it looks like a great breadth of investment opportunities and areas there.
Yep.
So that's great. And Hillary Clinton has really been on a roll lately.
I think that's why I say this trip, I
yeah.
think she's got full of cards to follow up in this
Yes,
trip.
she has a very clear plan for
Yep.
each country and each region. So she also was talking about Pakistan and kind of putting more pressure on making them kind of stamp out their terrorism.
Do more, about terrorism because everyone believes that Pakistan can do more,
Yeah.
but apparently there hasn't been so much, follow-up or activity from them to stop terrorism.
Right. And one of the cases that has been cited is the kind of foot dragging with their case with Hafiz Saeed, the Pakistan-based Islamist.
Right.
And he is accused of being masterminding the attack with the gunmen in Mumbai in 2008. And Clinton had stepped up the efforts even for his capture and had authorized a $10 million reward for his capture.
Which Hafiz Saeed laughs it off.
Yes.
Because, and he's saying that he is claiming his innocence, saying that he was not part of Mumbai terror attack.
Right.
But everyone else, they have their own opinion. And actually, India has given a proof to Pakistan that how he was part of this Mumbai terror attack.
And I think this is kind of a tightrope that the U.S. has to walk with Pakistan. See, with India, there's a lot of potential and partnering and that sort of thing. But with Pakistan, the relationship itself has been deteriorating over the past several months. And, I think they have to be really careful in how they kind of put pressure on these different issues.
Yep.
So definitely we'll see how that develops. And moving on to our next story, we have back to India. The rupee hits a 4-month low.
That's right.
And it just kind of reiterates India's policy uncertainty and their political situation, as well as their investment climate as well. So the Reserve Bank of India is trying to create some measures to defend the currency, and they've done this in the past when I think it was last December when it fell and it was a record low of 54.3.
Right.
And this week, the rupee fell to 53.47 to the dollar on Thursday, and then it had closed to 52.96 on Wednesday.
Well, see, the central banks, hands are tied. They are somewhat limited because India's relatively low foreign exchange reserves and a widening current account deficit aggravated by foreign capital leaving the country. So these two factors are playing very important role in stabilizing rupee's status. And until the Central Bank of India finds a solution to either one of them, either to increase foreign exchange reserves or making sure that foreign capital does not leave the country, until then, I think, Bhavna, we're going to see these fluctuations. And, I'm sorry to say that, but I think rupee might stay low till then.
And just to put some numbers to that, with the foreign fund inflows, the net portfolio in the last 2 months has stood at 540 million.
Right.
And this is comparing it to 13 billion inflows in January and February.
See that gap? That is a huge gap.
That's quite a drop.
Exactly. So let's see what our Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee comes up with the next plan.
Right. It could be, some Indians here, NRIs are saying it's great for us, but it could catch up, and cause trouble in the long run.
Exactly.
So, yeah. All right. So
and I think it's time for us to take a break.
We'll be right back on Eye on South Asia.
Eye on South Asia is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, together we'll go far.